You are listening to Becoming Wildly Resilient, brought to you by University of Kentucky Human Resources Health and Wellness. Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Rodquist-Kodet, health coach with the University of Kentucky Health and Wellness program. Welcome to Becoming Wildly Resilient Practices, where we'll explore research-based tools and tips that help us thrive more in the areas of life that matter most. This month, we're talking about resilience, specifically as it relates to mental health. Everywhere we look, there is mental health advice. Some of it helpful, and some of it not so much. We're going to go back to basics on research-informed ways to care for our mental health and improve our resilience. Spoiler alert, you know a lot of this stuff already. But hopefully there's something that resonates with you, especially if you're swimming in deep waters right now. The Mayo Clinic wrote a helpful research-based article that gives specific ways to care for our mental health. Today, I'm going to highlight some of their most salient takeaways. But first, what is resilience? For many of us in the well-being realm, resilience has come to mean being able to cope with tough situations. When difficult stuff happens, we still feel anger, we still feel heartbreak and pain. The ache is part of being human, and no one escapes that. But when we're able to keep going, both physically and psychologically, that's resilience. And overall, I agree with this definition, but I also think it's more nuanced than that. I recently read an article by Jessica Silman at Inc., and she discussed the weaponizing of resiliency. This article talked about how easy it is for leaders to encourage resiliency in employees rather than addressing the difficult problems that need to be acknowledged or supported. It described weaponizing resiliency as asking people to be more resilient versus prioritizing self-care, or praising people for their grit versus changing systems that keep organizations and institutions stuck and unjust and unhealthy. While resiliency can help us overcome some big challenges, it does not magically solve underlying concerns and systemic issues. My favorite quote from Jessica Stillman's article is this: "Instead of expecting resilience from workers, employees and society at large need to confront their own role in creating the very reasons of distress that demand resilience: inequality, discrimination, modern work's productivity obsession." As we talk about tools for resilience and mental health, let's remember practicing resilience isn't just for us as individuals, but rather it's a bigger conversation for the institutions and the systems we're part of. So, onward to our tips for this month. From mayoclinic.org and mentalhealth.org, if you'd like to support your mental health resiliency this month, try some of these tips. Number 1, get yourself into nature. Nature can have a calming effect. Humans have been living around other animals and plants for thousands of years. And many people find nature helps them feel calmer, more hopeful, and less alone. You don't need to go to a national park or a tropical rainforest to get the best out of nature's healing effects. Go outside exactly where you are. Look at trees, look at flowers, look at insects and clouds, and try tuning into your senses. What do you smell? What do you hear? What can you see? Take a deep breath. Notice how you feel. The idea is to get connected with the natural world wherever you are. Stop and take a breath and savor the moment. Number 2, prioritize sleep. I know, everybody tells us we need to sleep more. I always laugh when friends or clients say, I don't really need that much sleep. Well, research begs to differ. The majority of adults need 7 to 9 hours, period. I get a lot of us live in situations that make consistent, deep sleep tricky. Maybe you've got babies and kiddos at home, hormonal changes, and medications and medical treatments that interrupt sleep or wake you up in the middle of the night. Maybe a partner that snores logs, or environmental impacts. Maybe you're a shift worker. Whatever the case may be, if you're struggling with your sleep, talk with your doctor. I was diagnosed with a sleep disorder last year. I had tried all the tips and tricks, and I was still struggling. And getting some in-depth support has made a world of difference. Other things that can help me include developing a relaxing bedtime routine to help you start winding down before your head hits the pillow. And this one, you knew it was coming. Avoiding screens, turning off your phone at least an hour before bedtime. Minimizing alcohol and caffeine before bed. This will help you fall asleep and stay asleep. Giving yourself a bedtime and seeing if you can go to bed and get up about the same time each day, including the weekends. Schedule a well-being consult with myself or my colleague, Jackie Carroll. If you are a UK employee, we would love to support you as you create a sleep routine. Number 3, take care of yourself physically with nourishing food and daily movement. Going back to basics with food and exercise can be transformative for mental health resilience. Moving our bodies releases those feel-good hormones. All those tricky hormones, like cortisol, get burned up. And when we exercise, those feel-good hormones are released and help to reduce feelings of stress and overwhelm. It also helps us feel better about our bodies. It can really improve our sleep too. Especially if your movement involves other people, like being part of a team or a class or a group that you see regularly, that can also boost your sense of connection and healthy relationships. Eating well helps us feel better. It gives us sustained energy and helps us to think more clearly during the day. For me, prioritizing a consistent lunchtime and trying to stay hydrated by being intentional about how much water I'm drinking has made a big difference in my ability to concentrate and my overall energy and mood. I'll be honest, movement and nutrition are some of the first things to slip when I'm feeling overwhelmed. If that's you too, as a UK employee, our exercise physiologist and our dietitian are here to help you. Schedule a free 60-minute consult. And let me tell you, these folks are good at what they do. They're incredibly knowledgeable and down to earth with real life, doable tips that can make a difference. Ask yourself, what's a small first step when it comes to movement, when it comes to nutrition, that can get you going in the direction you want to go? Start there. Number 4, name your feelings and talk to someone you trust for support. Neuropsychologist Dr. Dan Siegel coined the phrase, name it to tame it. It's a useful practice when you're feeling overwhelmed or flooded with fear. We can stop and take a breath and see if you can name the emotion. You can say to yourself, a part of me feels, and then fill in the blank. A part of me feels totally and completely overwhelmed right now. A part of me feels so jealous. A part of me feels so scared. Dr. Siegel says, just like a child that cries, the difficult emotion is asking for attention. And reams of research suggest naming an emotion enables our prefrontal cortex to notice the emotion and begin to activate that parasympathetic calm response. We can't regulate any emotion until we allow it to be there. And that includes even the hardest ones. As you practice with the naming of your feelings and calming your nervous system, you may find yourself wanting some additional support. It can take a lot of courage to tell someone else how we're feeling and what we're finding to be difficult, especially if we don't usually do that sort of thing. There's a lot of research suggesting talking things through with a person we can trust helps us to feel less alone, more connected, and reduces our stress. That might mean seeking out a supportive mentor or friend, or it might mean reaching out to a mental health therapist for more robust support if you're dealing with trauma or mental health concerns. If you're a UK employee, you're eligible for 5 free therapy appointments every fiscal year. These therapists are on our well-being team. They are some of the most kind, skillful, and empathetic people you'll ever meet. If you're interested in learning more about this incredible employee resource or any of the other resources I've mentioned in today's podcast, you can go to hr.uky.edu and click on the Work, Life, and Wellbeing tab to learn more and sign up. And number 5, lastly, plan things to look forward to. This research stems from findings from the Mental Health Foundation in the United Kingdom that found when we have things to look forward to, including fun activities, it can help us to cope with difficult situations and increase our resilience. Making plans for things we can enjoy increases our sense of hope, which is key for our mental health. These don't need to be big or expensive things. Small pleasures like your morning cup of coffee or working in your garden or a TV show that you're excited to watch. Maybe a trip or an outing with family or friends, getting tickets to a game or a concert. It doesn't matter what it is. The important thing is to plan it. Decide what you'll do, when and who you'll go with, and if needed, book it. Then get excited about it. Follow through and repeat. Do it again. Research suggests having plans for the future instills a sense of hope as well as fosters an openness to when things do change, as we know life inevitably does. It makes it easier to adapt and view new challenges with less worry and more resilience. So, which of these practices resonated for you? Which one sparked some curiosity? Like I said, most of these you already knew about, but which one is alive for you again? Start there. Thanks for joining me today and practicing together, because practice makes possible, and that's how we become more wildly resilient. So until next time, keep practicing and be well. Thank you for listening to Becoming Wildly Resilient. This podcast is brought to you by University of Kentucky Human Resources Health and Wellness. We offer a wide range of online and in-person services to support the well-being of UK employees, retirees, and their spouses. You can find experts in mental health, personal resilience, nutrition, and physical activity. We're ready to meet you where you are and address your unique needs. To learn more about the work life and well-being services offered by UK Human Resources, visit hr.uky.edu/wellbeing. You can also connect with us on social media and YouTube by searching at UKY Wellness or by email at healthandwellness@uky.edu.